Summer, summer, summertime. Summertime. Summer du min og jeg.
Hi there, Libra, and welcome to your personal sun sign with your modern shaman Maria and RainbowLand with the Heartful forecast for the week. It starts at the 14th and ends at the 22nd. I always include an extra day just to give myself time to upload. So today it's raining, so we are inside, but let's open up and get the outside into the space. It's so beautiful when it rains, and it's so, you know, the sound of the rain is so nice. Okay, so this week we also start with a song that I channel, and I always channel it before I do the reading, and I go into the what's going on for each sign. And so I don't know when I get the song why I get it for the sign, so I always find out after. That's the fun part. So as I write songs, it's the same way, you know. I get the message, and you know, it's like it takes me sometimes just 3 minutes to write a song, unless I'm bad and can't hear all of it and get it all down at the same time, depending on if I have a voice memo or not. And then it's like, wow, man, you couldn't have written this in 3 minutes. I'm like, no, I didn't write it. It just came, you know. It's the same when I channel these songs. But anyways, now I don't even remember like the verse, but I can, you know, the refrain. Let's go. Hungry eyes, la 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 la, hungry eyes, you do that I can't deny. I got hungry eyes. Yeah, I know I should know a little bit more of that song, but it's from Dirty Dancing, and wow, it's a sensual, super sensual, exotic song, you know. So it's definitely an 8th house thing, you know, like a Scorpio, or you know, some deep hot connection is what you can call it. So that was interesting. But I think it has something to do with the fact that I was, you know, for this week I'm including regulars to the forecast, and I'm doing so because regulars is a fixed star, and I always include them in my personal readings for people, different fixed stars, because they often have a very significant role in the horoscope. So I cannot just ignore them, and therefore, you know, it struck me this time. Now it's very important because there's actually a grand trine going on in Earth signs between Regulus, Saturn, Regulus in Virgo, in your 12th house, Saturn in your 4th house, and Uranus in your 8th house. 8th house. So Uranus is creating breakthroughs for you, maybe in your more sexual, intimate connections, or very, you know, transformational level, because you can also, like, deep connections with others can really transform us, whether they're sexual or not. You know, this is what also, like, Uranus can go in and you know, it dissolves tension where it goes, and as it's in aspect to other planets, it's activating what's going on. And Regulus there in your 12th house is you finally really stepping into your kind of spirituality, how you connect, you know, with all there is, however you do so, or with God, or whatever you want to call it, through meditation, through connections with nature, or however you do this grand trine with Uranus involved and Saturn creating structures so that you can use your intuition more, so that you can use your spiritual side and your sensitive side to tune into stuff, to things, and just know things. You know, in the 12th house, we just know. In the 8th house, we transform so that we can alter consciousness and to accept, especially with Uranus, which is the planet that alters your consciousness, like this through epiphanies and stuff. Important times for you, definitely. But again, nature can, 12th house stuff, which is The eclipse is still clinging from last week, singing from last week, was in your 12th house. So 12th house is also nature that really understands oneness, you know, because it's not full of ego, it just is in the flow. And I mean, you can never force something or someone to grow in nature, like say to the tree, give me a flower. Or, you know, say to the flower, unfold now, I want you to unfold, it's my birthday. No, nature just waits patiently without an ego and is in the flow, and then the gifts come. They come as they come, you know. Okay. So last week's eclipse was actually going on in your 11th house. I kept saying the 12th house, but because that was the, I'm sorry Libras. That was the regulars that's in your 12th house. The eclipse was going on in your 11th house. But regulars is calling for these things that I just mentioned in your 12th house. So it's not that it's not valuable, but regulars just do it, instead of an eclipse, just do it in a more noble way, that you step into, you know, your spirituality in a way that only a king could do it, you know, following his heart, you know, the grand heart, and being aware of the details of the spirituality. The eclipse was in your 11th house, which also has a spiritual aspect to it, actually, but it's more future orientated in the 11th house. Let's just still look at nature, we can still do that. So this more through group interactions and you know, your long-term plans and highest inspirations were on the table with your friends, perhaps. It's your goals, not as in career, but what matters to you spiritually. But the thing is that it was in a King Kong's, which is kind of like a little bit more difficult aspect to Pluto, the sun, as we started this week out. So what we come into this week with was this King Kong's of you know, reawakening all the things that's been going on in your personal life, in your home life, in your family life, in your personal feelings in general. I want to look at nature with you, that's why I put on my glasses. But anyways, so it will be also underlined by the fact that Mars is actually also retrograde in here Monday, you know, on the 13th it did. And Mars is going to be here until the 11th of September, so for around a month. And Pluto is here, Saturn is here. Yeah, a lot is going on in your 4th house as well. So with Mars is the warrior. Mars is, you know, the feisty planet that wants to assert and do things a certain way, wants to move forward, you know. Now, and Mars is kind of like impatient. It's like, okay, what's going on in here? What's going on in this room? If you look upon a sign as a room, then as Mars enters the room, it's like, okay, this and that, I can see, what kind of action can we take here? Give me some tools and I'll fix this and that, and we can do this and that, you know. So you can be more feisty when it comes to your more emotional world, actually, when you clean up in your emotional, personal world. But Mars is still making it square to Uranus in your 8th house with the deep passions, as we talked about. So it can kind of create, with Uranus being the planet of surprises and sudden breakthroughs, breakdowns and breakthroughs and sudden changes, you know. It can changes about things that you share with other people, shared resources, shared feelings, shared whatever. Of course, it will be about business, relations. In general, it's also long-term financial planning, you know. So something can suddenly change in this regards as well, that will affect you personally. But Mars in Aquarius is good for you, you know, widely speaking, since it's, you know, it's awakening your passions and your inspirations in Aquarius in general, because it's the 5th house. But in Capricorn, you know, it's still in square to Uranus this week, but it will next week it will go a little bit out of that square, but it's still, you know, on the journey of that square for a long time, since the 2nd week of May. So we were not fully released, but, you know, temporarily released when it comes to that. It's still, you know, shaking away things for us, even though it's it's going further away, still active, but with less lava. You know, the volcano has less lava. So it's going to be super important not to react to situations, even though you are the diplomat sign, and you easily detach more easily than others. And you think things through before you react, so maybe you can be challenged since it's in your feeling, your emotional world, Mars. This week you may want to rip someone's head off. But it's also going to make you more impulsive for the next 4 weeks, so that you can always benefit from and thrive from. And it's in an earth sign, so maybe you'll get something done, you know, physically. Let's look at some earth, since we have some earth, some soil. Cannot zoom in anymore. Since we have so much earth energy going on, I think it's so appropriate to film out here in nature until I return to Tokyo. Okay, but we still have Mercury retrograde in Leo, and this ends on the 19th on Sunday. So, you know, it's in your 11th house, so maybe, you know, with Mercury retrograde there, you can have had some misunderstandings, miscommunications with some friends or your group of people you're around, and you thought they said this, but they didn't say that, they meant something else, and you meant something else, and they blah, 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 blah. So maybe some kind of misunderstandings about your future plans in your groups of people, with your friends, can, you know, finally resolve themselves little by little, but it won't be out of its shadows phase until the 2nd of September. So the final, in regards to something that maybe has been nagging you about how you what you wanna do in your future, how you think about what those plans will maybe be released at that time. So Uranus is also in a trine with Saturn, so if it's kind of like in your 4th house, so maybe something good is going on at your home, in your home as well. Maybe you are, you know, inviting this deep intimate partner you have to finally come in and stay with you and live with you in your home, or you start a business from home, or rent out a room, you know, or what, I mean, maybe your inner entrepreneur gets going. And also with Saturn there, create some structure for you that's going to be beneficial in one way or the other. Just remember, whatever it is that you do, or whatever innovations you want to take in your deep personal life, or financially with money, other people's money, that use the Saturn energy to think things through 3 times before you just do them. Because otherwise, he is known for coming and punishing you if you just, you know, impulsively do something that is with Mars there. You know, make sure that Mars checks up with Saturn, that, okay, is this okay that I do that, or invest this money, or invite these people to do this birth? And then if Saturn says yes, as you intuitively tune into it, using that skill of the 4th house, then you can go for it. But first and foremost, remember to don't follow trends, follow your heart. And either you will see the personal sun sign, the collective report now, or I encourage you, if I didn't upload it with the personal sun sign, I encourage you to go in and do it, and find it on the channel, because it's very important this week. And then there's also a tribute to my little fur friend, my best friend that died. A poem that I wrote. I'm first and foremost a poet and a songwriter. And this week, a beautiful poem was given to me as I said goodbye to perhaps one of the most important souls of my life. I don't want to cry again. Cried enough. Well, maybe not, but just not now. See you next week. Love sent your way. Bye. And now to the next. Possible to achieve these goals. Good things, bad things, what we carry around and how we can use it. That's what our horoscopes tells us, what our forces are, but we can always contact our heart for answers, because we know and hold all answers inside of us. And these times, we feel what we truly, really want and desire. And if you're in any doubt, meditate with Neptune in the Pisces, meditate upon it, go into the forest, take a walk when you get stressed. Mars in Aquarius is learning to be detached from the ego. It's learning because Mars is usually my wants, what I want to do, assert towards, and but in Aquarius, it's detaching from the ego being this one thing and starting to see itself as a unity with the rest. So this is a poem about Mooney, my big dog love. Before we start, you'll now see a clip, 2 clips where she was in a music video. 2 music videos, and she was on television with me in the background. And then you will hear the poem. Thanks for watching.
Maria på iTunes, Spotify og Amazon. Du ligger på de 3. Ja, og så er der RainbowLand.dk, som jeg nævnte før, under music. Der kan du også se videoerne og høre om os. Og så
Booty. My dog. Oh, dog. I just we want to photograph you. Sorry.
She's like, Emmanuel and Salim, can you turn back? Can you just turn back?
Oh, sorry, I want. Poem for Mooney, my beloved fur baby, my best friend, who was born on the 23rd of July 2003 and died here on this very lane right here where I'm gonna stand on the 8th of the 8th 2018, 3 days ago, 4 days ago. This poem is for you. You came to me like an angel in disguise. You came to me like a blessing of surprise. The greatest gift I got in this life, perhaps. A journey of 15 years with your cute little face on our laps. I'm so relieved to know that you now stroll the forever beautiful fields. Here you can rest. Here you can heal. Not a poem, no matter which song can describe just how grateful I am for all of the feelings inside. You taught me to be present. You taught me to be, just to be present in silence. You daily removed my life from the outside world's television and violence. You guided me into the forest to meditate and pray. For a world in peace, you showed me the way. The answer I found in raising awareness by being in my heart here and now, enjoying life to the fullest, sharing the love that I found. This you master of sin. That's why dog is God and you are my eternal friend. I promised Nikolai for your sake not to cry until you had left your body, as I waited for you to die. Ten long hours of seeing you breathe out slowly, fighting to stay alive. This promise I couldn't keep 100%, and my tears keep falling like rain. I miss your cute little face so much that it feels like I'm going partially insane. But deep in my heart, shining a light. It's you, you never left me. I feel you so alive. You show me images of you running the fields of gold. As if you were here, right here, just in another dimension. And as if you never grow old. Or grew old. As if you never grew old. It's just my ego wanting you back. You were my best friend as my mother died. It's just my ego wanting you back. You were my best friend as my mother died and I lost love. And all the tests that I tagged. Now I'm here crying, looking at this picture of us. From a day in September 2007, full of adventure and trust. A trust in that life always only gives you the tasks. The tasks we can handle, which will make us grow at last. Moony, my Moony, Moony, my love. Let's go to your grave. Charmer was your name from the breeder, and that's what you are. Ever charming us all in music videos, commercial photos, etc. Just like a star. So intelligent that I cannot believe that I was so lucky to have you next to me. If I was to describe you only in one word, only one phrase, always so happy, is the song I would make about a dog that came down to a planet to love and to play, to teach us all that joy is a choice and that true love never, ever, ever stops. Thank you, Mooney, for all that you gave. You are. This is her grave. Here she rests. At this beautiful, beautiful place where we now live, and when we're in Denmark and not in Tokyo. So Mooney and I, all the times we shared the most was in the forest, where we meditated every day for 8 years. We lived in the forest, very close to. She would just sit next to me for hours and hours as I would sit up a tree and meditate with me. Wow. She gave me so much. She means the world to me, and I will keep her forever in my heart, where my mother also is, supporting me every day with all that they gave. So when people die, they never truly die. They stay with us. They're ever so present and alive. We just need to turn inwardly, feel our heart, and dare to open the door and enter and see what lies for us there. All the love that we think we lost, but we never did. Hi, Pheww. I love a beef. This tree just spoke to me. The giver of this tree. It doesn't want us to. It doesn't want us to tear it down. Shit, man, Mooney.
Easy sliding. Summertime. Så du er min, og jeg er vild med